Now the leaves of the squashes have got a bit frosted, so it's time to take them off. So I mean, they could last a little bit longer, but I'm going to not risk it. I'm going to take them off and take them home. But here, a horseradish managed to hide itself amongst the weeds. This was one where the root went through the bottom of the big container the horseradish was planted in, and I thought, oh, there'd be a little bit of root left. I was wondering whether it would come back, and certainly it has come back, and look at it, it's massive. During the summer it wasn't visible. I think it's when the rain started and he managed to get some rain, it's just gone mental. Oh, and I think that might be another one. So yeah, it's getting away. So despite my attempts to keep it contained, he managed to get into the soil, and I'll never get rid of it now. But anyway, important thing is the squashes, deal with them. Well, that's the squash harvested. I've got some more butternut squash on the other plot, but I've got these. These are a bit smaller. There are some smaller ones even, but by the time you skin them and take out the seeds, there's not much. So I didn't bother with the small ones because I've got plenty here, and these, and the ones on the other plot. So I'm not going to waste time with little ones. And the vines from the butternut squash are starting to die off. The ones in the middle have died off. Obviously the cone stalks have died off, but they're still on the edges around here. They're still alive, so I could give them another day or two before I pick them. But there's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a few more. Oh, there's a couple more there. One there. One they're hiding behind the leaves, and there's one here. So a few butternut squash, that'll do me. There's one back here. Yeah, this leaf, behind this leaf, but I don't think that's going to come too much. It's a bit too small. And this was a disaster. I thought it'd be a good idea, but the bindweed made fun with it whilst I was away. So I think I'll take this netting off, because all it's done is given the bindweed a scaffold. And I have been in and cleared it, but you clear it and 2 days later it's full of bindweed again. And it's difficult to put bindweed out of this fine netting. Without tearing the netting, it's difficult to get all this bindweed out. The roots of bindweed are very delicate, but the actual stems are like nylon rope, and they're all over the place. So I think this was a bad idea. This mulch of plastic and roof slates has worked pretty well, and it's kept the weeds out of the bed. Now there's just a little bit come off down this side, and this stuff is actually coming in. It's actually grown. It's coming from the other side, but it's actually not coming through. It's just from the other side that's flipped over. But the actual bed itself has done okay. A little bit has come over, and that's managed to squeeze through between the two a little bit here. But and that's still a bit of the squash, and this bit where I didn't actually cover it properly, you can see what would happen. This is where the plastic didn't meet the weed fabric, so this little corner is like that. Compare that to the rest of it, and I didn't have to do anything to it during the summer except water it. So that's the way to go. Mulch it with weed fabric, because it saves an awful lot of time. An awful lot of time. I know it's plastic, but the amount of time it saves is incredible. Now compare this to that, which wasn't mulched with weed fabric, and you can see the difference. And that was weeded. This has been weeded twice. This was never weeded. So definitely that's the way to go. I know it's not very eco, and I know it's using plastic, but it lasts 10 years. So it's definitely worth doing. The amount of time it saves is incredible. On a wet, miserable day like today, it's good to look at all the pumpkins and squashes that I've harvested this year. The small ones are at the back, and some are a fair size. I mean, you can see that one, fair size. These other ones are smaller. That crown prince is about the right size, but these other ones are all smaller, and I think that's because I put them all in one location around a common watering and feeding hole, and I think some of them did better than others. So this one did better, but compared to that one next to it, so I think some might have hugged more of the resources, and the others didn't get as much water and feed as they should have done. So I won't be doing that again. And I think the same happened with these. Got the butternut squashes. I've done well. Got quite a few. Well, that butternut squash didn't do well last year, and it hasn't done well this year. So I'm not going to bother with those anymore. But these have been perfect. So I shall carry on with those. And these orange ones, I had some jack-o'-lantern seeds, and I just put them in, but really I don't think I'll bother with them anymore because they're not the tastiest of pumpkins, so I won't be bothering with those orange ones anymore. I'm going to stick with Queensland Blue and Crown Prince, and I think, I can't remember what this one was off the top of my head, but it's the same as this little one. These two came off one plant, and it was just one seed I had left, so I don't think I'll bother with those anymore, because these butternut squashes have done pretty well, so I'm happy with those. These other ones, I mean, they're a fair size. I mean, put my hand around it, you can see it's fair size, and that'll give a couple of meals. Some of these little ones, I'll only get one meal out of that. I'll probably get a starter out of that one, but this one will be alright. Unless it tastes really nice, and I don't think these were all that amazing from what I remember from eating them last year, so I'll not bother with these again. But yeah, I mean 26 squashes and pumpkins, so I'll be happy with that. That'll keep me fed for a while.